Hello and welcome. It's been a little over a year since I discovered and indulged in Thai BL, so I figured it was time to share my top 10 of all time. These are strictly my opinions and preferences, so feel free to disagree, but keep it cordial in the comment section. You're also welcome to share your top 10. I do recommend every series on this list. And of course, this video contains spoilers. Some of you will agree that A Tale of 1,000 Stars deserves the highest praise. It's a 10-episode series with just about anything and everything. From a great cast to beautiful locations to melodic music to fresh concepts. Overall, it's an aesthetically great watch. Of course, Earth Mix is the cherry on top. The series centers around the only son of a powerful man, Tien, who isn't promised a clear future, let alone a long one. After a successful surgery, dreamless Tien assumes his donors, Tao Fun's wishes, dreams, and life as a volunteer teacher in the hills, leaving the life he once knew and was comfortable with to be protected, and under the watchful eye of duty-bound Chief Forest Officer Bupa. You might be wondering if this series is so great, how come it's 9th on your list? So I'll let you in on a few unpopular opinions. This series was the start of my ick for guns in Thai BLs, particularly GMMTVs. Don't get me wrong, I love me a good gun battle, but the depiction of guns in this show made my skin crawl. Point blanks and gun snatchings are way too common, hence defeating the purpose of guns, range weapons. The camera work and editing are uncreative. The angles weren't fun, transitions were dry, dull lighting, surly warm tone, and uninspired shot composition. I'm not saying every shot was bad. These just stood out to me. No thanks to the camera work, the execution of the ultimate revelation was lukewarm at best. If Chief Pupa wasn't handsome, he would have very little going for him. He's a flat character with little to no charm and charisma, and isn't exactly the type of leader anyone will lay down their lives for. After episode 6-7, I didn't enjoy seeing him on screen. Now here's why A Tale of 1,000 Stars made 9th. I love when series take place outside of big cities, in the countryside, out at sea, or in the mountains. Great sceneries enhance intimacy. Main characters working with kids give me butterflies. The 5 children were a delight, and the role as a volunteer teacher in a small village made it all the more enjoyable. Oh, and did I mention the phenomenal cast? The acting was convincing and believable, almost as if they scouted real villagers as extras. The getup was great too, for everyone. I only wish there was more wear and tear on Chief Bupa's uniform, but that's a me problem. Any main character who sports a Woody and Buzz Lightyear t-shirt on his first date, even if it's a practice round, is an automatic favorite. Love in Translation is a quirky rom-com with a side of drama and is a guilty pleasure of mine. It's the story of Yang, a Chinese businessman, and Poonjai, Yang's Thai business partner. Optimistic Poonjai doesn't speak a word of Chinese but happens to crush on and wants to pursue Chinese influencer, Tammy, and his only source of communication is a low-key, playful, yet gravely strict Yang. Through mind-reading level translations and working together, they catch butterflies for each other. I love unserious comedy, and this show was it. Poonjai is a whole mood maker with nothing but lovable and positive energy. Healthy friendships are the icing on the cake to the uniquely fun characters. The second couple, Pajai, Poonjai's older brother, and Tag, is super adorable. Although Tag treasured Pajai greatly, he was still able to confront Pajai about 2 significant issues in their relationship. The music is great, found myself dancing along most of the time, though not surprising with Dome as the composer. The best thing about this series is that it has 8 satisfactory episodes. Now there were some things that the show could have dived more into or used less of, such as flashbacks to replay, reveal, and retell what was already told to us by the characters, and Pajai's unjustified obsessive overprotectiveness of Poonjai. I wished Pajai's reasoning was more thought out and ran deeper than an incident that happened when they were kids. His reactions were also inconsistent. Initially, he seemed to want Poonjai to lead an independent life, without depending on their parents, but then he would coddle Poonjai and interfere in all aspects, including having Tag keep tabs on Poonjai's every move and word. Fun fact about this series, the lead actors Dao and Offroad are dating, and this series is based on some of their real-life events. Lastly, isn't Dao a replica of South Korean actor Kim Jong-un, or is it just me? I have a soft spot for the historical genre, and when you throw fantasy into the mix, you usually get something epic. This much is true for I Feel You Linger in the Air. Along with A Tale of 1,000 Stars, this show had some of the best OSTs. It's only regretful that they played the same 2 songs throughout the entire show. This 12-episode series had a strong opening, but similar to the 2 leads, Jom and Yai's character growth, a somewhat lacking ending. Jom is an architect in the year 2023 who gets sucked into 1928 Chiang Mai, where he's then introduced to his employer, the soft-spoken, soft-hearted young master Yai. It goes without saying that the acting and cinematography were superb. The cast is super talented. Bright and Non-Cole, who played Yai and Jom, slayed every intimate scene. The English script was spot on and even advanced for a Thai series. I mean, it's better than some American movies floating in the clouds out there. The costume design was a solid A too. What displeased me most was the poor characterization of Yai. While Yai initially possesses some power and influence as the oldest son, he loses them in the long run. Indifferent, helpless, and having no real growth were some of his worst qualities. If his dad's name and reputation didn't do all of his bidding for him, Yai would be an even more mundane man. Love that Yai valued his peace and therefore secluded himself to a smaller house. However, as a viewer, it's hard to root for him when he hasn't earned it. Sadly, when he did rescue Jom, the characters were only on edge because of his assigned position and birthright, and not who he is as an individual. Also, the show's biggest conflict was easily and single-handedly resolved, and led by Jom with no help from Yai. It would have been nicer if Yai had more going for him other than jumping Jom, reading and snacking. I know he was the healthy relationship Jom deserved, but as a partner, Jom could do better. What I think the show could have included and elaborated on: a moment or moments where Yai helps other servants besides Jom. Yai and Jom spent nearly a year together, but hardly knew each other on a spiritual level. Yai didn't inquire if Jom regained any memories or what Jom's dreams, wishes, goals, hobbies, favorite food, favorite desserts, etc. are. Jom didn't know that Yai's dream was to study law. They always spoke of their love for each other, but even if Jom was Yai's servant, it would be normal to be interested in Jom's wants. Arranging marriages is so not the most villainous thing an old-schooled and judgmental dad can do. What happened to The Walls Have Ears? At some point, it felt like I was watching two different series when Yai and Jom were stuck in a loop of mushy puppy love, and the other house was going through a whirlwind of crazies without Yai and Jom's involvement. Jom and James would have been a more interesting couple to watch. I feel Yai constantly brought down Jom's mood and energy. My boy Ming deserves the world. Before we continue, I want everyone to know that Last Twilight in Phuket is my real ending. I'm not listening to whatever I Promised You the Moon had to say. Erasing that sequel from my memory. I Told Sunset About You was different. A good different. It's a series about childhood best friends, Tae and Oe, turned rivals, turned strangers, turned friends again, turned lovers. Too much spoilers? Remember, you can always check out and check back once you've seen the series. I won't fault you for it. I will, however, fault Tae for being the king of alexithymia. Boy was giving my Oe the runaround. Although I'm guilty of rolling my eyes at Tae, I applaud his ambition and dedication to achieve his dreams. He saw the bigger picture for himself and those who mattered to him, and ran towards it at full speed. I love I Told Sunset About You for what it is. 5 episodes of strong direction from the director, fire acting abilities from the cast, extraordinary emotions, impressive expressions, captivating communication styles, and lyrical love languages. Everything on screen was intentionally genius. The real-time instance that put you in the moment with the characters, the long pauses between dialogues, the camera angles, everything fed into the atmosphere the director wanted us viewers to feel, challenging and making us think about what we would have done if we were in the characters' shoes. There were a few things I did not like and agree with, but overall, I Told Sunset About You is a must-watch for BL lovers. Have I seen the Japanese version? No. Am I gonna watch it? Maybe. Did I enjoy the Thai version? Absolutely. Am I going to judge the two versions as separate entities? Of course. I did not want this show to end. Cherry Magic is an adaptation from the Japanese manga series, Cherry Magic 30 Years of Virginity Can Make You a Wizard, by Toyota Yu, played by Tae and Nu. It follows an ordinary employee at a stationery company, Achi, who is turning 30 and is still chaste. On top of worrying that he's not like most prosperous people halfway to 60, he discovers that being celibate at the big 30 would mean acquiring mind-reading powers. He dreads it. Why? I don't know. To his surprise, the company's most competent worker, sales supervisor Karan, have been in love with him for years. Tae-nu brought Karanachi to life, and although Nu's physique doesn't fit the standard timid guy persona, their chemistry overshadowed that. The cast, acting, and timing of how events unfolded were chef's kiss. If I had to complain about something, it would have to be the addition of Jinta and Min's love story. Jinta and Min are adorable, no doubt, but their narrative didn't bring anything new to the table. It may sound mean, but Jinta and Min were giving the unfinished rough draft of Karan and Achi's story. It would be great had Jinta and Achi made use of their powers differently, but instead they both hated the idea of mind-reading superpowers, and conveniently found men who love them unconditionally and know they're cute. Jinta and Min did have a stronger enemies to lovers arc, but like most Thai BL series, it's short-lived. Binging this series right after Only Boo was a bad idea, as by the time we got to see Min pursue his idol career, we'd already gotten the nitty-gritty from Only Boo. Oh, and one more complaint. Rock and Pai should have remained friends and co-workers. They weren't the supporting straight couple we needed. Saying I did not want this show to end doesn't mean it's flawless. All shows have their shortcomings, but I truly enjoyed Cherry Magic. We've heard of Green Flag and Green Forest, but Karen is a whole green planet. I loved that instead of getting angry and feeling violated, Karan took advantage of Achi's power and turned it into sweet moments. His love for Achi just oozes through the screen. I felt that the ending was a bit rushed, as we were getting a lot of new in-depth information about their families, but I'm not mad. Also, Tae was glowing in here, like, I'm starting to think ex-Nudapong Mongkosawas might just be my favorite Thai BL director. Originally, I was going to watch this series when it had 4 episodes out, but then Jimmy C got busy, so I got busy and forgot about it. Thankfully, comments redirected me to it, and I binged it all in 2 days. And now I love Seeking. Moo is a senior in high school who wants to become an idol. While following his passion, Moo's studies suffer, so to distance him from distractions and temptations, his mother sends him off to Nakhon Pathum. Funnily, his mother's combat plan backfires when Moo runs into the ultimate distraction, Gang, a curry rice seller. I love music, but I'm never one to appreciate it on a profound level as a musician would. So whenever a character's dream is to become an idol, I always shrug at it. I don't mind it, but other than rooting for the character, it's not a career choice. I enjoy watching fictional characters chase. That being said, I had a great time with Only Boo, mainly because of Gang and Moo's personalities and Seekeen's chemistry. They made me laugh a lot, and they are super sweet. The romance was romancing. The dialogue is fun and fresh, specifically Gang's lines. They were not what I expected most of the time. Gang and Moo's POVs were hilarious as well. If you know, you know. If you don't know, then what are you waiting for? Go watch Only Boo! The supporting characters were fun and great as well. Shone, played by Book, and Moo's relationship was hilariously heartwarming. I love the director and teacher at the school too. Side note, Louis was stunning here. When I said my jaw dropped, it dropped. Someone give him this look for his next main role. I love that they were communicative and could speak their minds around each other. I'm also pleased that they dealt with their feelings for Gang respectfully and maturely. Pute Pa Yos was the biggest plot twist for me, and I love that. I am still mad at Yos though. Don't keep suggesting friendship if you're going to keep giving Tae the cold shoulder anyway. Overall, when it comes to Moo's profession, the show is pretty predictable. But it's still a great show nonetheless. Bad Buddy is about the bad blood between Pran and Pat's families, cliques, and more. Nurtured to loathe one another, Pran and Pat naturally inherited their parents' raging rivalry, but friendship was always around the corner. The more they are forced to hate each other, the more they are inseparable. Bad Buddy was the 2nd or 3rd GMMTV Thai BL series I checked out in June 2023, and ever since then, it's been one of my top 3. The high ratings Bad Buddy receive across the board are not for nothing. The storytelling and progression of their enemies to friends to lovers is appealing. Their tug-of-war dynamic really drew and locked me in. From the great banter, realistic conflicts, fun plot twists, thought-provoking concepts, and talented cast, the series possesses just about all the positives. Not only did Na Non and Om bring their top acting skills to set, they brought their chemistry. I do have to say that Piaf or GMMTV needs an action choreographer, like a good one. And although Om Nanon is officially over, I want to thank them for this masterpiece. Second on my list is the 2024 award-winning Best Asian LGBTQ+ program Last Twilight. Check out my thorough review on Patreon, otherwise all I have to say is, if you've watched this series, you know why it's automatically a top 5 for anyone. It was the show that made me look forward to every Friday for 2.5 months. Last Twilight deserves all of its praises and glory. Other than a talented cast, Jimmy and C's performances were out of this world. They brought their characters to life despite being different in person. Now that's good acting. The production quality and value were amazing. Piaf and his team outdid themselves. The show was a wild emotional roller coaster. Last Twilight is an 11 out of 10, and that's just a fact. Colorist Taylor had just landed a job at the company he desires, whereas Boone is a popular actor. During an outing with his friends, Taylor experiences a near-death experience and wakes up in the body of Tess. As Taylor adapts and navigates the parallel world, a former high school friend of Tess, Bacon, catches Taylor's attention. Believing Bacon may also be a time traveler in his portkey, Taylor tails him only to be led in a game of cat and mouse. When Bacon returned from a journey with his friends, Taylor notices some changes and one key difference. Bacon now knows of Taylor's world. If you know me, you know nothing can dethrone vice versa for me. It's my happy place and my ride or die. Unless a third Jimmy C series checks off all of my soft spots. But I don't think anything else could or would ever top vice versa. What I adore about vice versa and PX is that this show treated its audience as a smart crowd. Meaning there was little uses of flashbacks, and if there were any, they were significantly never before seen scenes. The amount of callbacks and references were clever too. The series has a healthy balance of romance, comedy, and fantasy. Sure, there are no unicorns and magic spells, but the whole idea of the show is a fantasy. This series took searching for your soulmate to another level. Boone and Taylor's relationship was all shades of green. The fact that they always resolved their problems within 15 minutes of screen time makes it all the more heartwarming. PX really said no to toxic relationships. I normally find fights after disagreements silly, but in the show, I always understood both viewpoints. There was no good or bad guy, just different perspectives. I don't know what it is, but Jimmy and C make product placements fun. Maybe because C has a marketing background, I don't know. But every time they pulled out an Oishi drink, bag of Lay's, Choco Pie, or Nivea, I'm always smiling like a fool because something cute was bound to happen. I can't express how much I love vice versa. This show restored my faith in Thai BLs and BLs in general. I also love the way they utilize the supporting characters. They aren't entirely background fodder, but aren't stealing the show either. Speaking of supporting characters not stealing the show, last on this list is The Trainee. This series was like a fun documentary, very educational and insightful, but with a pinch of bitterness. The Trainee would have ranked higher if this wasn't a BL-based list. The show semi-stalks Ryan, who's interning as an assistant director under Jane. Whenever Jane is around Ryan, Jane unconsciously drops his guard, and eventually Ryan falls for the kind side that Jane keeps under wraps. This is a hot take, but I'm not mad that Afghan got little screen time. I'm mad that the casting and writing team thought it acceptable to cast and market Afghan as the main characters, and gave them support character storylines and materials to work with. Their story was worth 6 solid episodes, not the dozen they were given. Jane piecing out last minute when Ryan needed him most, only to show up and say, "By the way, I'm leaving," is a slap in the face. Especially after Ryan stood up for Jane at work. Then after 5 years with zero contact, somehow, everything remained the same? That's unrealistic. I was always banging my head against the wall when it came to Jane and Ryan's communication. They can never be forthright with or without all the cheese. The back and forth between Ryan and Jane, constant sulking, Jane comforting Ryan, and them never answering each other's questions directly annoyed me. That I didn't contact you because I was scared I would run back to you is outdated and would only be cute if I was 16. Would I hug someone I don't like? Is not a sufficient question answer for an overthinker like Ryan. I didn't count, but I believe Ryan asked if Jane likes him at least 3 times, and Jane would never give him a straight answer. A simple yes or no would have solved most of their communication issues. The production team really intended for the other 4 interns to carry the show, and they delivered. There were flaws and growth in all of them. Their energy and dynamics were certainly different and entertaining. Ryan is soft-spoken, but it would have been nice to see him engaged and interact with the others more. Even when he's with the gang, he only thinks about Jane. I understand he likes Jane a lot, but to revolve his world when unsure if the mentor likes him back is crazy to me. If anything, it made him feel more like a side character. Did Tay not hear Ryan said he likes Jane the first time? Other than for the purpose of comedy, was the second time necessary? I thought Ryan and Tay would have that secret in common, sowing the distance between Ryan and another friend of the group. It would have also spoke to why Bob values Tay as his best friend. And there wouldn't be such a big disconnect in their friendship. Sorry, I just hate it whenever friendships are one-sided. The Trainee started off great, but for some reason shows with great starts usually falter toward the end and vice versa. If you made it through this entire video, then I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know I sound like a broken record, but I truly am grateful for the opportunities BL fans and Nom Noms have given me. To those of you who have been with me from the beginning or early on, I thank you again. I'd shout you out, but you know who you are. To those who are newer, thank you for trusting and joining me on this journey as well. I'm not great at it, but I do enjoy making videos and edits in my spare time, and I hope you enjoyed some of them.